Hey everyone, darthbriboy. I somewhat still like the Star Wars prequels, despite all my bashing, despite me saying they suck and they could have been brilliant movies. They could have been better. All three of them, all three of the prequels had the potential. No, let me rephrase that. After episode 1, though, episode 1 had the potential to be better than A New Hope. Episode 2 could have been better than Empire, and Episode 3 could have been 10 times better than Jedi. Okay? I'm just going to say that out loud. Because think of this. Think of it this way. The origin story of Darth Vader. Wow. What would make a person, what would make this great Jedi General warrior fucking microwaves going off become this evil villain who is fine with being a puppet and a tool? What would make this general, this guy, become that thing? Always a whiner. Always a whiner. Feels unappreciated. How cheap can you be? Seriously, how cheap are you? That is too easy, okay? That is too easy of a plot device to use. What could have happened is that you show the Clone Wars in the movies. You could have split episode 3 into a two-parter. Part 1 could be the Clone Wars. Part 2 could be Anakin's mental breakdown in becoming a Sith. Now you can argue in the real version of episode 3 that already happened. And he did have a mental breakdown. Bullshit. No, that wasn't a mental breakdown. Maybe towards the end, But what if he's just... Why not just have him be a teenager? And why not give him... Okay, I'm just going to bring up the new Star Trek movie in this, because the new Star Trek movie did this really well. So, like, in the original Star Trek movie, Kirk is this, this decorative officer. He's not really a player like he was in his youth. He's calmer, he's older. But in the new Star Trek movie, which is a reboot, they made him young, cocky, arrogant. But relatable at the same time. So, going back to the thing. The way they portray Kirk in that Star Trek movie is that he's cocky, arrogant, but he's also relatable. Because he's destined for greatness, okay? So, why not make Anakin very similar in that regard? Because you know what? In my mind, that's how it should have been. He should have been 16 or 17 and a bit of a cocky guy. I could see him in a Mos Eisley's thing and Greedo's beating the crap. By the way, this was a deleted scene in The Phantom Menace that they should have kept in. They should have kept this movie in because it would have made it less shitty. There is a scene. This scene involves Anakin Skywalker, 9-year-old Anakin, beating the shit out of Greedo because Greedo said he cheated. Qui-Gon comes in and says, fighting doesn't solve anything, violence doesn't really show anything. And it's a great scene. It's a great scene. It actually makes Qui-Gon seem less pointless. But did George Lucas put that in the movie where it would have been good and made sense? No. Nope, not at all. He doesn't put that that scene that could have made a lot of Star Wars fans go, yeah, huh. So this kid does have a dark side. No, actually, you know what? Now that I think about that scene, if that were in the movie, that would make young little curiosity kid Anakin seem like an actual person. And I'm not saying, but he was, a kid's a kid. If he grows up in a hellhole like that, he should at least be in one fucking fight in that movie, which he was, and that was good. That could have made the fan. In fact, all my criticisms with the Phantom Menace can be countered, except a couple, could be countered with that one scene. That one fucking scene that George Lucas decided to cut out for some stupid reason. Episode 2, okay? Anakin's a whiny bitch in episode 2. Now you can argue that, Luke was a whiner. Like if you look at Empire, he's like he's talking to Yoda, Yoda's like, we will find Yoda. And then Luke's like, we're wasting our time, and Yoda's like, I cannot teach him. And Luke's like, oh shit, what the fuck did I just do? Okay, Yoda, I'm sorry, I bow before your 2 foot tallness. I am sorry, Master Yoda, I am sorry. Hail to the King Yoda. Like that. You know? Well, not exactly, but you get my point. But Luke was whiny in a way that would make sense. And you could argue this for Anakin. Anakin is learning, but there's tension between Anakin and Obi-Wan. This makes no sense. Maybe it backs it up later in the animated series of the Clone Wars. Not the Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars, where Anakin is, like, in the second part of that show, him and Obi-Wan start to actually have a good relationship. And you know what? You know, the more I think about it, the few scenes that I'm bringing up where Anakin could have been tormented, he could have been tortured, you know, like the psychological breakdown, were somewhat in these things in the Star Wars film that he could have put in. That George Lucas could have put in. But he didn't. He didn't put them in. Why? I don't know. By the way, if I did put a jump cut in this video, it's because I just felt like using one jump cut, and that's it. One little jump cut. Nothing else. Okay. Episode 3. Now, I don't know if I'm making sense at this point or not. So let me try. Let me try to make sense. I think I already brought this point up, but let's compare Luke's character arc to Anakin's character arc for a second. Anakin Skywalker's a little kid. He doesn't know jack shit. And you could possibly argue that he's learning a little bit, but not a lot. Second movie. Whiny little bitch. You know, wanting to fuck a senator, which, by the way, why can't Padme have a little affair? Like, oh, you're a Jedi, I'm a senator. What is up with this BS Romeo and Juliet scenario? George Lucas, do you even know how politicians are? They have affairs. They will screw. Why not? You know, Padme could have done it Edward style, except not as sleazy. You know, like, oh yeah, Padme, biggest cock tease ever. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate if a friend of mine on the internet, Skygirl, if you see this video, I'm sorry, but Padme to me is a cock tease and a damsel in distress. Okay, I'm going to put that bluntly. I just saw some cock tease laying in the bikini choking Jabba. Jabba the Hutt. Best death ever. Oh. Okay, going back to the rant. Now, okay, let me just tell you one of my scenes if I were to make the Clone Wars. So you would see Anakin be this general, you know? And Anakin would order his men to act like they are separatist troops. They'd steal a couple of uniforms. They would handcuff Anakin. They would treat him like shit, you know? And he would basically say, you know, if you've had any problems with me as a general, you can take them out on me. Like, I'll be the guy. And they would act it out, and they would follow separatist orders temporarily. and they would torture Anakin. Like Anakin would be tortured. They'd be, you know, if you ever seen the movie Casino Royale, where James Bond is getting tortured a lot, he's like, everyone will know you beat my balls, like that, like something like that, or like the Separatist troops are demanding he gives the position of the base, and they're demanding that he uses like the Force to show how powerful he is. Like, cause I'm gonna explain the chosen one a little bit more too, but Anakin would be like, spit some blood out of his mouth and say, I grew up in Mos Eisley, you bitch. A hellhole. You really, this is nothing. You know? And then Anakin would eventually break out, kick their asses. Oh, by the way, the Force, like, I would have loved to see, like, you know, instead of that lightsaber duel, which is cool, I'll admit that. Like, why not? Like, that would have been awesome. Vader, like, Anakin already in the Vader suit, fist fighting Obi-Wan, like, Kung Fu and shit. Like, you could argue that's for martial arts movies, but not Star Wars flicks. Just think about that for a minute. Darth Vader going Bruce Lee on Obi-Wan. That is awesome, okay? Like, you could really show how powerful the Force could be through, like, the human body. You know, you could really show that. You know, like in the 2003-2005 Clone Wars animated series, which I think I brought up in this video a bunch of times, Mace Windu is punching battle droids, and that is so fucking awesome, because it does show how the Force can be used through physical muscles, and well, I could argue that does counter Yoda's teaching of the Force is within your mind, is energy surrounding all of us, and using it for brute force is countering it. But that would just be fucking awesome. Like Vader would be like, throw Obi-Wan, punching him. You would, man, you know, if someone gave me the budget it took to make these movies, and said remake the Star Wars prequels in your vision, the way you want to make them, I'd say fine. Give me the money. I'm willing to do it. So I'm not sure if this video is making sense. Basically, what I'm going to sum up is this. Anakin's character arc is bullshit. The characters aren't as interesting as they should be. Anakin and Obi-Wan relationship is not how it was described in the original trilogy. Oh, and by the way, how the fucking, like, why the fuck were Leia and Luke twins? No. Why the fuck were Luke and Leia babies? Why couldn't they have been toddlers when Padme died? And then be separated that way? And Leia would have, and it would make sense. Leia could have, like, a vague memory, because she'd be a toddler. And how the fuck could Luke not have a memory of his mom when he's the one who's the Force first? And oh my god, I'm going off topic again. You know what? The prequels just drive me so fucking crazy. Oh, I'm also going to say this too. I think I already said this in the beginning of the video. I probably already did. While I am bashing the Star Wars prequels, I will say this. The little kid me, the kid who grew up with these movies, all 7, after all 6 of them. Hell, I even defended the Clone Wars at one point, which is how I like to call it. Should have been a fucking television pilot, which is what it is. Like, I still have nostalgia for the Star Wars prequels, and while I'm older and I'm bashing them now, because there are tons of shit to bash in those movies. So anyway, basically I'm going to sum it up like this. My relationship with the Star Wars prequels is like a Golem one. It's like, we likes the prequels. We likes the prequels. They fun guilty pleasures. No, we hates the prequels. So many inconsistencies and plot holes. We likes it. Hates. I'm gonna hack up along now. Goodbye. Live long and prosper and have a nice day.